From cosmic explosions that changed Earth's atmosphere to everyday things like the truth behind brown and white eggs, get ready for some surprises. Let's explore the wonders of space, science, and our own bodies. Oh, and keep an eye out. There's a random word hidden somewhere in this video. The first person to comment it in the description will get a shout out in the next video. Let's not delay any more time. Cats purring is more than just a sign of happiness. The low-frequency vibrations of their purrs are believed to help them heal. These vibrations can strengthen bones, repair muscles, and even reduce pain. Scientists think this is why cats recover quickly from injuries. It's like they have a built-in healing mechanism, making them even more special. In 2011, a diving team exploring the northern Baltic Sea stumbled upon something strange at the bottom, a massive object that defied explanation. When photos of the structure surfaced, many speculated it could be a sunken spaceship from an ancient civilization. Others believed natural forces had shaped it, but the metals found inside seemed impossible to form naturally. Some scientists think the object might date back to the Ice Age, possibly a meteorite trapped under ancient ice. A maelstrom is a powerful whirlpool formed when two currents collide, creating a swirling vortex. Even the fearless Vikings feared these deadly forces, as they could sink large ships with ease. Today's massive modern ships are usually safe from maelstroms, but cruise ships caught in one can face enormous waves that violently rock the vessel. In extreme cases, a maelstrom can act like an underwater black hole. These underwater black holes, much like their cosmic counterparts, are compact vortices so strong that they trap anything entering their grip. Some can stretch up to 93 miles in diameter, and their boundaries are nearly impossible to detect. If you found yourself in one, you might not even realize it, as the powerful swirling forces pull everything in. Even here on Earth, nature mirrors the mysteries of the universe. If you're ever at the beach around sunset or sunrise, keep an eye out for a fascinating phenomenon called the green flash. For just a second or two, the upper rim of the sun may appear green as it dips below the horizon. This happens because light refracts through the thick layers of the atmosphere, dispersing colors. For the best chance to see this fleeting event, wait for a clear day with no clouds or haze. Imagine going to the beach for a swim and finding the ocean water turned red. In places like Florida, this could mean a red tide is in effect. This happens when microscopic algae grow in high concentrations, turning the water red. While most algae are harmless and even vital for oxygen production, some species in red tides release neurotoxins that harm marine life, including fish, sea turtles, and seabirds. These toxins can also affect humans, especially those with respiratory issues, so it's best to avoid red tide areas when winds push algae toward the shore. Volcanoes on land are dangerous enough with their ash clouds, lava, and gases, but submarine volcanoes bring their own hazards. Found underwater, they can sometimes be near the surface, where they blast debris, rocks, and steam high above the water. These eruptions may appear suddenly, making them unpredictable and challenging to navigate around. Submarine volcanoes behave differently from land volcanoes because they're surrounded by endless water. When seawater enters active vents, it interacts with lava spreading across the seafloor or flowing into the ocean from land. Lava cools so quickly underwater that it shatters into rubble and sand, leaving behind volcanic debris. Famous black sand beaches like those in Hawaii were formed this way. While lava eruptions are dramatic, submarine volcanoes in deeper waters can be silent threats. These volcanoes release bubbles that reduce water density, making it impossible for ships to stay afloat. The surface may look calm, but tiny bubbles beneath can rob vessels of their buoyancy, sinking them with little to no warning. A cross sea is a rare and mesmerizing phenomenon where square waves form a checkerboard-like pattern on the ocean. This happens when two wave systems meet at oblique angles, often caused by a swell moving in one direction while strong winds push waves in another. While beautiful, cross seas are incredibly dangerous, especially for swimmers and smaller boats, as the chaotic currents are unpredictable and powerful. Square waves or cross seas can be extremely dangerous for swimmers and boaters. These waves, caused by powerful ocean currents meeting at different angles, are unpredictable and can grow as tall as 10 feet. They are sometimes called white walls because their strength is enough to overturn even large boats. Their chaotic movement can make the ocean appear calm, but the risks are high, especially for smaller vessels. If you ever take a clear glass of ocean water and look closely, you'll notice tiny particles suspended in it. Seawater contains dissolved salts, algae, fats, proteins, and even artificial matter like detergents. When you shake the glass, you'll see small bubbles form at the surface. This is how seafoam is created. While most seafoam is harmless, thick foam caused by algal blooms can be problematic. As these algae break down, they release toxins into the air, which can irritate your eyes or cause respiratory issues for people nearby. In certain areas where rivers meet the sea, you can witness a tidal bore, a powerful tide that flows against the river's current, pushing water upstream. Tidal bores are considered a type of surge, which is a sudden change in water depth. A positive surge causes the river to deepen, while a negative surge can make it much shallower. Tidal bores occur in specific conditions, like shallow rivers with narrow mouths, and the difference between high and low tide must be at least 20 feet. An exception is the Amazon River, where a tidal bore occurs despite its vast size. Money isn't made of paper, and no, it doesn't grow on trees. Most banknotes are actually made from a blend of 25% linen and 75% cotton. This gives them their distinct feel and durability. In the 19th century, money was made from parchment paper, which made it easy to counterfeit. Today's paper currency is much harder to replicate. The Eiffel Tower grows almost 6 inches taller in the summer due to a phenomenon called thermal expansion. When substances like metal are heated, their particles move more vigorously and take up more space, causing the material to expand. As temperatures drop, the substance contracts again. This effect is more noticeable in gases, but it also occurs in liquids and solids, like iron. Engineers build structures like bridges with expansion joints, allowing them to safely expand and contract without causing damage. Honey is a remarkable substance that can last for thousands of years without spoiling. Bees collect nectar from flowers and turn it into honey, which has natural preservatives like low moisture and high acidity that prevent bacteria from growing. Archaeologists have even found pots of honey in ancient tombs that are still edible, making honey one of the longest-lasting foods in the world. Long ago, people didn't elevate their mattresses off the floor, but this practice began in ancient Egypt and spread across cultures. People realized that the floor was cold, making it harder to stay warm at night. Without central heating, beds were raised off the ground to keep the cold air from seeping in. Additionally, by elevating the bed, it was easier to keep it clean, especially since floors were often dirtier back then. Humans have an innate need for cleanliness, driven by our sense of disgust. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors were already using latrines, grooming their hair with combs, and keeping their homes clean. This need for hygiene helps protect us from infections. Even though we're more sensitive to certain smells and dirt, we still have habits that can be less than tidy, like eating snacks over a keyboard. Interestingly, some animals are even neater than humans. For example, rattlesnakes are known to keep their surroundings clean, with some even using their sheds as a way to tidy up. Many animals, including reptiles and songbirds, clear their paths when hunting or nesting. Reptiles, with their muscular necks and triangular heads, sweep aside tall grass to make it easier to catch prey. Songbirds also tidy up their nests, getting rid of uneaten food, eggshells, and other debris. This behavior helps them stay hidden from predators while making their homes more efficient and clean. Shadows on the moon are much darker than on Earth. This is because Earth's atmosphere scatters sunlight, while the moon has no atmosphere to diffuse the light. If you were to visit the moon, you'd see shadows so dark you wouldn't be able to see where you were going. Interestingly, footprints left on the lunar surface by astronauts remain visible, even after decades. Without wind or water to erode them, these footprints stay intact for millions of years, a lasting reminder of human exploration. Earth's core contains enough gold to cover the entire planet. If it were possible, you could coat the entire surface of the Earth with gold up to your knees. This vast gold deposit is a result of meteorites colliding with Earth during its formation, bringing with them minerals, including gold. As Earth was molten at the time, gold, being a heavy element, sank to the core. Unfortunately, most of this gold is out of reach, buried about 1,800 miles below the surface in temperatures too high to access. Surviving in space without a spacesuit sounds impossible, but technically, you could survive for about 15 seconds. Without a suit, the lack of oxygen would cause you to lose consciousness at that time. Your body would be exposed to the vacuum of space, and oxygen wouldn't reach your brain, making survival only a brief possibility. This was demonstrated in 1965, when scientists studied the effects of space exposure on the human body. When you have a cold, your body tends to rest, and so do the nerves responsible for sneezing. While you sleep, the brain ignores irritants or tickling sensations that would normally trigger a sneeze. This is why you might not sneeze as much during sleep or rest. The calendar year once ended in February because it was the last month added to the calendar. The original calendar only had 304 days, leaving room for more months. Julius Caesar reformed it in 46 BCE, switching from a lunar calendar to the solar-based one we use today, aligning it better with the seasons. The apples you buy in supermarkets can sometimes be up to a year old, thanks to their storage process. After being picked, apples are coated in wax, dried with hot air, and then stored in cold storage to keep them fresh for long periods before they reach the shelves. People have better breath-holding capabilities than dolphins, who can hold their breath for up to 40 minutes by slowing their heart rate. If they watched a breathtaking series, they could hold their breath for an entire episode. Dolphins have a natural ability to conserve oxygen for long periods, much like expert divers. In old photographs, people didn't smile like we do today. Back then, photographers preferred more serious expressions, so instead of saying cheese, people would say prunes to keep their lips tight. This helped achieve a more somber look in the photos, which was the style of the time. Earth isn't the only planet with water. Scientists from NASA believe that Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, holds an ocean with twice the amount of water we have on Earth, hidden beneath a thick layer of ice. Even Mars has liquid water flowing in certain areas. Cicadas, while most species are only about 1 to 2 inches long, can get much larger. The empress cicada, the biggest known species, has a body length of 3 inches and a wingspan of up to 8 inches. It's a massive bug compared to other flying insects. Not all goats peacefully munch on meadow grass. Some, like the Moroccan goats, prefer to climb trees to find food. These goats are naturally agile and can navigate difficult terrain to access the fruit and foliage found high in trees. In North Africa, there's a unique phenomenon where goats are drawn to argan tree fruits rather than regular grass. These fruits, resembling golden apples, attract the agile goats, which climb the trees to enjoy the treats. They rarely need help from their nannies, showcasing their impressive climbing skills. There's a jellyfish species known as Turritopsis dohrnii, or the immortal jellyfish, that can technically live forever. If they experience any physical damage or stress, they can revert to an earlier life stage, the polyp, and begin their life cycle again. This ability to regenerate means they essentially reset their life, defying aging. It's a common question. Are there more trees on Earth or stars in the Milky Way? If you guess stars, you're wrong. According to scientists, there are approximately 3 trillion trees on Earth, far more than the estimated 100 billion stars in our galaxy. Pluto, discovered in 1930, still hasn't completed a full orbit around the Sun. It takes about 248 years for Pluto to make one full trip. In comparison, Mercury is the fastest planet, completing its orbit in just 88 days. Pluto's first complete orbit since its discovery will occur in 2178. The dwarf planet Haumea has a unique shape, resembling a potato. It's about the same size as Pluto and has rings, much like Saturn. Haumea orbits beyond Neptune, adding to the list of interesting and lesser-known features in our solar system. Contrary to popular belief, nachos are not an ancient Mexican food. They were invented in the 1940s in Mexico by a man named Ignacio Nacho Anaya. He created the dish to serve to American military wives who were visiting a restaurant in his town, and it quickly became a popular snack. Here's a riddle for you. What's common between peanut butter and an engagement ring? Both contain diamonds. Scientists have figured out how to turn peanut butter into diamonds by extracting oxygen from CO2, leaving carbon. By applying intense pressure, they can transform the carbon into diamonds. In 2008, a penguin named Niels Olav III was knighted in Edinburgh, becoming the mascot and colonel-in-chief of the Norwegian King's Guard. Penguins can be knighted just like humans, and Niels Olav III holds this unique distinction. It's one of the most unusual knighthoods in history. The Statue of Liberty, standing at 151 feet tall, would need a size 879 shoe if she ever wanted to wear sneakers. Of course, statues don't need shoes, but it's fun to imagine her needing such a massive pair of sneakers. Our muscles, called erector pili, are responsible for creating goosebumps. These tiny fan-shaped muscles sit at the base of every hair follicle. When we feel cold or experience certain emotions, they contract, causing our hairs to stand up and creating the familiar goosebumps. You may not think of yourself as an athlete, but if you've ever ironed clothes in an uncomfortable location, like a forest or on top of a mountain, you've participated in extreme ironing. This quirky sport involves ironing clothes in unexpected places like canoes, underwater, or even atop statues. Rap battles might seem modern, but they have medieval roots. Back in the 15th and 16th centuries in England, there was a practice called flighting, which was similar to contemporary rap battles. Opponents would mock each other in an improvised battle of words. Hold on tight. The random word is coming up in this video. Make sure you're paying attention and be the first to spot it. Taste is more complex than just sweet, salty, sour, and bitter. We have taste buds all over our mouths that are sensitive to different flavors, but no one area is better at detecting one flavor over another. Studies show that all areas of the tongue can taste all 5 basic flavors, meaning every part of your mouth helps with every taste. Chameleons don't change colors just to match their surroundings. Instead, their color changes are influenced by mood, temperature, and light. When a chameleon is relaxed, its cells and crystals stretch, which affects its color. Darker shades often indicate that the chameleon is in a bad or grumpy mood. Turkeys can blush just like humans. When they're angry or upset, their skin can turn red, much like how humans blush when they feel embarrassed or excited. It's one of the more human-like traits these birds share with us. Contrary to what cartoons and photos suggest, opossums don't really sleep while hanging by their tails. Although their tails are strong and can grip branches for short periods, they aren't strong enough for the animals to hang by them for long. Opossums are simply too heavy to hang by their tails for extended periods and still get the rest they need. Airports often have carpets in their gate areas, not just for comfort but also for business reasons. Carpets create a cozy atmosphere, which helps passengers feel more relaxed and at ease. Studies show that calm passengers are more likely to shop and spend money in the lounge or duty-free areas. So, while it costs more to maintain carpets, airports invest in them to increase their own income. When you're on a plane, you might wonder where your baggage goes. The short answer is that airport staff don't track it after it leaves their hands. Baggage is sorted automatically by scanners that read barcodes and direct luggage to the correct destination. Airport staff primarily handle tasks like moving bags from check-in to the gate, transferring them between gates, and bringing them to baggage claim. If your luggage doesn't make it to your connecting flight on time, it's likely due to the automated sorting system. The same thing can happen in reverse. Your bag might get to the destination before you if you're delayed at passport control. Also, if you forget to remove old destination stickers from your luggage, the scanner might mistakenly send it to the wrong country. Most airports have giant kitchens where food for passengers is prepared. These kitchens handle the large volume of meals required for passengers on long flights, ensuring that meals are fresh and ready to be served during the journey. Airport kitchens operate 24/7, preparing meals for various airlines at once. Since airplane food needs to be cooked 6 to 10 hours in advance, these kitchens are busy around the clock. The menu for each flight is planned up to a year in advance to carefully consider every ingredient, as even small changes can lead to big savings. For example, one airline saved $40,000 by removing just one olive from each salad served on their flights. At security checkpoints, airport staff may ask passengers to rub their hands on a piece of cloth before passing them through a machine called an atomizer. This may seem unusual, but it's harmless. The atomizer checks for dangerous chemicals by memorizing their smells. If it detects these substances on a person's hands, it alerts the staff to potential danger. If you've ever been stopped at security for having a prohibited item, don't worry. Any seized items can be stored at the airport for up to 3 months. You can even have them mailed to any address within the country. Items that aren't claimed after the storage period may be sold at special auctions and shipped worldwide. If you have a long layover between flights, going to a nearby hotel might not always be the cheapest option. Some airports offer services or lounges where you can rest, shower, or even sleep comfortably without the added cost of a hotel stay. The random word hidden in this video is club. Make sure to comment fast so you can be the first to get it right and earn a shout out in the next video. In multi-terminal airports, there are often hidden passageways connecting terminals that most passengers are unaware of. For example, at Frankfurt Airport in Germany, there is a walking tunnel between Terminal 1 and Terminal 2 that is mainly used by employees, as many travelers don't even know it exists. It's worth exploring if you find yourself in a multi-terminal airport. The first 60 minutes after you check in is called the golden hour. During this time, passengers tend to spend more money in retail and duty-free areas of the airport. Airports place comfortable seating in front of shops to entice travelers to linger, making it easier for them to shop while relaxing. It's a clever tactic to encourage spending. If your flight is overbooked and you're asked to give up your seat, don't accept the first voucher you're offered. Airlines usually keep raising the compensation until they get enough volunteers. If you're involuntarily bumped from the flight, you could be entitled to a cash refund, which could be as high as $1,300 depending on your ticket and the length of your delay. At most airports, there are experts known as profilers. These professionals use psychology to observe and assess passenger behavior, often helping to identify potential security risks or suspicious activity. Their role is crucial in maintaining safety and smooth operations within the airport. There's a floating space cloud made entirely of water, so vast that it could fill our oceans 140 trillion times over. The water on Earth is still a mystery, but the most popular theory is that icy comets and asteroids brought it here during Earth's formation. These celestial bodies not only created mighty craters, but also provided the water that sustains life on our planet. In space, there's an abundance of organic matter that, under the right conditions, could produce enough water to fill our oceans thousands of times over. Researchers have conducted experiments where they heated this organic material and obtained both clear water and oil. If this is confirmed, it could suggest that oil on Earth might not only come from fossilized remains, but could also have extraterrestrial origins. Recent data suggests there could be around 6 billion Earth-like planets in the Milky Way alone. Every fifth Sun-like star may have at least one planet in its habitable zone. These planets, with their rocky cores and Earth-like surfaces, have high chances of supporting life. Given the vast number of galaxies in the universe, it's likely that at least one of these planets is inhabited. Our ability to walk upright might be thanks to supernova explosions from about 2.5 million years ago. These explosions sent cosmic rays to Earth, triggering electrical storms and thunderstorms. These storms caused wildfires in Northeast Africa, which changed the landscape from forests to savannas. The change in atmospheric pressure prompted our ancestors to adapt by standing on two legs to survive. In 2019, the biggest explosion since the Big Bang occurred in the Ophiuchus cluster, which contains thousands of galaxies. The explosion's force was equivalent to 20 billion megaton explosions happening every millisecond for 240 million years. This intense cosmic event was felt across the universe. In 2019, NASA's InSight lander on Mars detected the first ever Marsquake. These quakes occurred about twice a day, though they were too small to feel on Earth. Over 300 Marsquakes have been detected so far, making Mars the third celestial body to experience earthquakes after Earth and the Moon. The mission also uncovered strange magnetic pulses around midnight, but scientists are still unsure of their origin. Pluto's atmosphere is much higher above its surface than Earth's, with more than 20 layers that are freezing cold and extremely condensed. This thin, layered atmosphere adds to the mystery of the dwarf planet. The asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs is well known, but another space event may have wiped out up to 75% of life on Earth. This event likely had catastrophic consequences for life across the planet. Roughly 360 million years ago, a supernova explosion occurred about 65 light-years away from Earth. The cosmic rays emitted from this explosion were strong enough to sweep away our planet's ozone layer, leaving Earth vulnerable to more intense solar radiation. A busy highway or renovation area has more dust than a house in the middle of a forest. The constant movement of cars and workers stirs up dust that can spread all around. In contrast, forests are calm places with natural growth, and the air is usually cleaner, as there's less human activity to disturb the ground. Skin is our largest organ. It covers and protects our body, and while we don't always think about it, it works hard to keep harmful things out and keep us safe. On average, the skin weighs about 8 pounds and covers a surface area of 22 square feet. It's essential for our health, providing protection and regulating temperature. You can't breathe and swallow at the same time. Our body has two pathways in the throat, one for air and one for food. These pathways are separate to prevent food from accidentally going down the wrong way and blocking our airway. This natural design helps us avoid choking when we eat or drink. Humans have unique tongue prints. Just like fingerprints, each person's tongue has a distinct pattern that's impossible to duplicate. These unique features can even be used as a biometric tool for identification, much like how we use fingerprints or iris scans to verify who we are. An average adult spends around 3 hours a week in the bathroom. This time adds up as we go about our daily routines, and it's often more time than we spend exercising. The bathroom can be a place to relax, take a break, or just handle personal tasks. You don't swallow 8 spiders a year while sleeping. This myth has been around for a long time, but there's no truth to it. Most spiders avoid humans, and vibrations from your movements keep them away. They're more interested in finding a quiet place to stay, far from your bed. So, don't worry, you're safe from swallowing spiders. Your thigh bone is incredibly strong. It can handle thousands of pounds of force without breaking. This makes the femur one of the strongest bones in the body. It supports much of your weight and plays a vital role in your movement. The strength of your thigh bone helps you stand, walk, and run without issue. Shaving your hair doesn't make it grow back thicker, contrary to what some might think. When you shave, you only remove the upper part of the hair, leaving the root intact. After shaving, the hair grows back with a blunt tip, which can make it feel thicker, but it doesn't actually affect the hair's thickness or growth rate. There's no such thing as the 5-second rule. Researchers have found that bacteria can transfer to food almost instantly after it hits the floor. The level of contamination depends on the food's moisture. Wet foods like watermelon are more likely to pick up bacteria than dry foods like chips. So it's best not to eat food that has fallen on the floor regardless of the time. Blondes and redheads aren't going to disappear anytime soon. The genes responsible for blonde and red hair are recessive, which means they can be passed down even if they don't show up in every generation. While these genes are rare, they are still carried by many people, and as long as those genes are passed on, these hair colors will persist. Drinking coffee does not dehydrate you. While it's true that coffee may make you visit the bathroom more often, it doesn't mean you're losing more water. Studies show that moderate coffee consumption doesn't increase the risk of dehydration. In fact, coffee can contribute to your daily fluid intake like any other beverage. Eating yogurt can indeed help with digestion, but only if you choose the right kind. Yogurt with live cultures contains beneficial probiotics, which support gut health and improve digestion. It's important to look for yogurts that list live or active cultures on the label for maximum benefits. Probiotics, the good bacteria in yogurt, help keep your digestive system running smoothly. However, eating yogurt alone may not be enough for optimal gut health. While yogurt supports digestion, not all yogurts are created equal. Some contain added sugar or toppings like candy and cookies, so it's best to choose the classic varieties with live cultures. The idea that getting your hair cut more often makes it grow faster is a myth. While it's common advice, hair growth is determined by factors like age, hormones, and time of year, not by how often you trim it. On average, hair grows about 0.01 inches per day, and no amount of cutting will change that rate. Some sharks have a remarkable ability to eject their stomachs, only to pull them back in. This helps them get rid of indigestible material like turtle shells, bird bones, and lobster claws. The process is quick, taking only a second, and helps the shark avoid digesting things it can't process, allowing them to keep hunting for new prey. Sharks have a special system that allows them to heat up their eyes and brain. This adaptation helps them detect movement more effectively and improves their vision in murky waters. For species like the mako shark, this system also aids in their ability to travel across varying temperatures. Unlike humans, sharks can move both their upper and lower jaws. This unique ability allows them to grab prey more effectively and chew it thoroughly. By moving both jaws independently, sharks can get a better grip on their meal, making them faster and more efficient predators in the ocean. The goblin, basking, and cookie cutter sharks vary greatly in size, ranging from just a few inches to dozens of feet long. They also inhabit completely different environments, with some living in deep waters and others near the surface. Despite their differences, all sharks play crucial roles in maintaining balance in the ocean ecosystems. Tiger sharks are known for their indiscriminate eating habits and will consume just about anything they can get their jaws around. Some of the oddest items they've been found to eat include video cameras, bags of money, license plates from US states, and even dog leashes. They are often referred to as the garbage cans of the sea. Each whale shark has a unique pattern on its skin, made up of spots and stripes. These markings are as individual as fingerprints, and researchers use them to identify and track specific sharks. This incredible trait helps scientists monitor their populations and movements across the globe. The blunt-nosed six-gill shark can dive to depths as great as 5 times the height of the Empire State Building. This species is capable of navigating some of the deepest parts of the ocean, where most other creatures can't survive, showing just how adapted sharks are to a variety of underwater environments. Baby sharks, also known as pups, are born fully nourished and ready to swim away from their mother. They don't need to hunt for food right away and can survive for weeks without seeking prey. This incredible survival instinct helps them thrive in the wild, even without direct parental care. Squirrels' teeth never stop growing, but they keep them worn down by constantly gnawing on nuts and other hard foods. The front of a squirrel's teeth is orange due to a special enamel coating that makes them tough enough to chew through hard materials. Thankfully, humans don't have to worry about this constant tooth growth. Some bird species don't mind eating chili peppers because they can't feel the heat. The compound that makes peppers hot, capsaicin, burns human mouths, but birds lack the taste buds that react to this chemical. This allows them to eat spicy food without the discomfort that we experience. A rhino's horn is made of keratin, the same protein that forms human hair and nails. Unlike other animals with bony horns, rhino horns are unique in being made entirely of keratin. This makes them both strong and lightweight, giving rhinos an effective weapon for defense and survival. The woodpecker can peck up to 20 times per second, a pace so fast that it's almost too quick for the human eye to notice. In a single day, woodpeckers can peck anywhere from 8,000 to 12,000 times, constantly searching for insects and carving out homes in tree trunks. Starfish actually have eyes, one on the end of each of their arms. These eyes are sensitive to light, helping the starfish detect changes in their environment. While not capable of sharp vision, these simple eyes allow starfish to sense light and navigate their underwater world. In Australia, the hippopotamus has pink sweat, which isn't exactly sweat, but a reddish, oily fluid. This fluid doesn't cool the body, but it moisturizes the skin and acts as an antibiotic. It helps protect the hippo from sunburns or cuts, and interestingly, it can be beneficial for humans as well, providing natural protection. Some species of tarantulas, among the largest spiders in the world, can survive without food for more than 2 years. Their ability to go without eating for such a long time is impressive, though I'm sure many would still prefer to keep their distance due to their creepy appearance. Platypuses close their eyes while swimming. They have special folds of skin that cover their ears and eyes, preventing water from entering these areas. Their nostrils also have watertight seals, making them perfectly adapted for life in the water without getting drenched inside. Emus are unique in that they can't walk backward, and scientists aren't entirely sure why. These flightless birds are the only ones with calf muscles, which helps them sprint fast and travel long distances. However, the inability to move backward remains a mystery. Crocodiles can't move their tongues because it's attached to the roof of their mouths. This keeps their throat closed and protects their airway, making sure they can breathe properly when submerged in water. Water snakes, dolphins, whales, alligators, crocodiles, and turtles can drown if they stay underwater too long. They can hold their breath for extended periods, but eventually they need to surface to breathe. They can't breathe underwater like fish, making them susceptible to drowning if they can't get to the surface in time. Only one species of bird can fly backward: the hummingbird. These tiny birds can flap their wings up to 80 times per second, allowing them to hover and even fly in reverse. Their incredible wing speed and agility make them stand out in the bird world. Elephant shrews, despite their name, are more closely related to elephants than to true shrews. Their unique trunk-like noses help them feed on insects. Cats, along with other felines, can't taste sweet things because they lack the taste buds required to detect sweetness. This is a trait that sets them apart from humans and other animals that enjoy sweet flavors, leaving more sugary treats for us to enjoy. Flamingos can only eat with their heads upside down. This strange feeding habit is due to their massive lower bill and smaller upper bill, which are designed to work in perfect harmony for inverted feeding. It's a unique trait that sets them apart from most other birds. When toucans sleep, they curl up into tight balls. They have the ability to turn their heads so that their tail covers their head while their beak rests on their back. This comfortable sleeping position allows them to rest in an unusual yet cozy way. Clownfish are all born male, but in some situations they can turn into females. This gender change is irreversible, which is different from most fish. It's one of the many fascinating traits of clownfish that make them stand out in the underwater world. Termites never sleep. They can eat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, constantly working to break down wood in your house. These tiny creatures are always active, and they can cause quite a lot of damage over time if not managed properly. Just like humans have fingerprints, animals also have unique nose prints. These prints can be used to identify individual animals, and no two are the same. Owls don't have eyeballs. Instead, they have eye tubes that don't move. This unique feature helps them see well in low light, but it also means that owls must turn their heads almost completely around to look in different directions. Penguins don't have external ears, but their hearing is especially sharp, especially when they're keeping an ear out for predators like polar bears. They rely on their keen senses to detect danger from afar, making them even more impressive in the wild. Penguins are always alert, even though their ears are hidden from view. Jellyfish are made up of 98% water, which makes them incredibly fragile. When they get washed ashore, their bodies can evaporate into the air within just a few hours, making them one of the most delicate creatures in the ocean. Their high water content is what gives them their soft, jelly-like appearance. If there's ever a traffic jam underwater, an alligator will always give way to a manatee. These creatures might not seem like they'd be concerned with manners, but alligators are known to be surprisingly polite in the water, giving room for the slower-moving, peaceful manatees. Grizzly bears have an incredibly strong bite, strong enough to crush a bowling ball. So it's a good idea to let them win in any strength contest. These powerful animals have jaws that can crush bone. Giant pandas are not picky when it comes to sleeping spots. They'll usually fall asleep wherever they are, even on the forest floor. Their newborn cubs are tiny, weighing no more than a small cup of coffee. In fact, they are smaller than a mouse when they are born. The red handfish, despite its name, doesn't have hands. Instead, it uses evolved fins to walk along the ocean floor. These fins help the fish move and steady itself in the rocky seafloor, allowing it to navigate the ocean bed in a way similar to how animals walk on land. Cats don't usually meow at each other. A study has shown that cats primarily use meowing as a way to communicate with humans, not other cats. They've figured out that meowing gets them the attention they want, whether it's food, affection, or simply getting noticed by their favorite humans. Sloths can't shiver, which is a unique trait for these slow-moving animals. It's not because they're too busy digesting their 2-week-old meal. Their metabolism is slower, and their fur sometimes gets covered with algae. When they get too hot or too cold, their metabolism slows down as a way to help them survive in tough conditions. The closest living relatives to the T-Rex are chickens and ostriches. It might sound surprising, but these modern-day birds share a common ancestor with the fearsome dinosaurs, making them distant relatives of the mighty T-Rex. Who would have thought your chicken could be connected to one of the most famous predators in history? The moray eel has a second set of jaws that can extend from its throat. When it catches prey with its main jaws, the additional jaws quickly grab the meal with sharp, backward-pointing teeth and drag it down into the eel's throat. It's a creepy but effective way to catch and consume food. Some species of snails have hairy shells. These snails have tiny hair-like structures growing on the surface of their shells, giving them a unique appearance. These hairs may serve to help protect the snail or to help it blend into its environment, making it harder for predators to spot. Humpback whales use a unique hunting technique called bubble net feeding. They gather in groups and create a ring of bubbles around a school of fish. The bubbles trap the fish, preventing them from escaping, making it easier for the whales to catch and consume them. It's a cooperative effort that showcases the whale's intelligence. Snow leopards can't roar like other big cats thanks to their less developed vocal cords. However, they can still communicate through meows, growls, hisses, and even purring. Despite their quieter communication style, snow leopards are still skilled hunters and elusive predators in the mountainous regions they call home. Sea otters hold hands while napping to avoid drifting away from each other. They also wrap themselves in giant seaweed to keep together while resting in the water. This behavior helps them stay in close groups, ensuring they don't lose one another in the currents while they sleep. Lions are often called the king of the jungle, but in reality they mostly live in grasslands or savannas. Even though the males are in charge of protecting the pride and its territory, it's the females who do nearly all of the hunting. Their teamwork ensures the pride stays fed and safe. Cats have an impressive ability to move their ears, thanks to having 32 muscles in each outer ear. This allows them to rotate their ears independently, improving their hearing and helping them focus on sounds from different directions. It's one of the many reasons why cats are such effective hunters. Some shark species can glow in the dark, but only other sharks can see the eerie greenish glow. This bioluminescence helps them communicate or camouflage in the deep ocean, giving them an edge in the predator-prey game. Your dog has just over 1,500 taste buds, while humans have up to 8,000. This difference in the number of taste buds explains why dogs are less picky than humans when it comes to food. Their sense of taste is much less developed, which is why they can enjoy a wide variety of foods with enthusiasm. The blue jay can imitate the calls of other birds, with its favorite being the hawk's call. It uses this mimicry to scare away other birds from its territory, making it a clever and effective way to defend its space. This mimicry also adds to the blue jay's reputation as a bold, resourceful bird. Slow lorises are not only incredibly cute, but also dangerous. They are the only known venomous primates, with a gland in their inner arm that secretes toxins. These toxins can cause unpleasant symptoms in humans if they come into contact with the loris, making them a potentially hazardous creature despite their adorable appearance. The heart of a beast, like the zebra or antelope, has an amazing evasion tactic to escape predators. They move in a zigzag pattern to confuse and evade their pursuers. This unexpected change in direction makes it harder for predators to predict their next move, helping the prey stay one step ahead. Bottlenose dolphins have names for each other, which are specific whistles that allow them to communicate with their fellow dolphins. These unique whistles help them identify one another, much like how humans use names. Giraffes have long black tongues, which might seem odd, but scientists believe this color helps protect the tongue from sunburn. The black pigmentation absorbs UV light, keeping their tongues safe from the harsh sunlight while they graze on tall trees and shrubs. Bromelain is an enzyme found in pineapples, mostly concentrated in the core, that breaks down proteins. This powerful enzyme is so effective that it's even used as a meat tenderizer. If you find pineapple too painful to eat raw, cooking it alters the enzymes. The tissue in our mouth heals faster than any other part of our body, thanks to the increased blood flow in our face. This rapid healing helps prevent infections and allows us to recover quickly from minor injuries in our mouths. The admittance rate for Harvard is just 4.7% of applicants, meaning it's incredibly competitive to get in. Walmart's acceptance rate is even tougher at only 2.6%. These figures show how challenging it is to make it into top institutions, whether for education or for a job at a giant corporation like Walmart. When things get hot, atoms move quickly. However, as temperatures drop, atomic movement slows down. At absolute zero, which is minus 459.67 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 Kelvin, atomic movement stops completely. While it's almost impossible to reach this temperature, space is incredibly cold, averaging around 2.7 Kelvin or minus 455 degrees Fahrenheit. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance, and it's a fitting name. These birds are known for their beautiful pink color, which changes based on what they eat. Depending on their diet, which could include algae, shrimp, or insects, their vibrant pink hue can shift. Flamingos create massive flocks that can travel to water bodies across the globe. Humans and emperor penguins are the only warm-blooded animals that stay in Antarctica during the winter. While humans can bundle up in coats, penguins stick to their formal wear of feathers. To survive, emperor penguins form large huddles for warmth, moving constantly so that every penguin gets a chance to be in the center and stay warm. Clouds look white because they reflect sunlight off the tiny water droplets in them. When clouds are thin, more light passes through, making them appear white. As the cloud gets thicker, the amount of light passing through decreases, and the cloud starts to appear gray, signaling that it contains more water droplets. The coco de mer, or sea coconut, produces the world's largest and heaviest seeds. A single seed can reach up to 12 inches long, 3 feet around, and weigh over 40 pounds. These massive seeds come from the Seychelles and are a marvel of nature due to their size and unique shape. Rabbits may be cute and cuddly, but in Brisbane, Australia, it's illegal to keep one as a pet. You can only keep them for approved purposes, like public entertainment. This law is in place to prevent rabbits from becoming invasive and causing environmental damage in the region. The Kármán line is the generally agreed upon boundary of space, located at 62 miles above sea level. It's the point at which space officially begins, according to international consensus. This line marks the boundary between Earth's atmosphere and outer space. The human brain is made up of about 60% fat, making it the fattest organ in the body. It's a surprising fact, given how much focus we often put on the brain's cognitive abilities rather than its structure. The brain's gray matter, which makes up about 40% of its weight, contains 100 billion neurons that transmit signals throughout the body. In Utah's Fish Lake National Forest, there's a colony of aspen trees known as the trembling giant. These trees share the same root system and have been there for nearly 1 million years. It's one of the oldest living organisms on Earth, and its unique root system allows it to survive and thrive across generations. A margherita pizza has tomato, mozzarella, and basil on top to represent the colors of the Italian national flag. This delicious dish not only satisfies your taste buds, but also showcases Italy's patriotic pride through its colorful ingredients. The world's largest sandcastle, measuring 57 feet 11 inches high, was created in Germany on June 5, 2019. Sculptura Projects, a team of 20 artists, spent 3.5 weeks constructing the massive structure using 11,000 tons of sand and water. Antarctica's largest native land animal is a wingless midgefly called Belgica antarctica. This tiny insect is only half an inch long, and interestingly, every other animal in Antarctica is considered a marine animal. Seals and penguins, for example, spend most of their time in the ocean hunting for food in the extreme cold. General Sherman, located in California, is the world's largest tree. This giant sequoia stands over 2,000 years old and is taller than the Statue of Liberty. Its massive size and age make it a true wonder of nature. I hope you're enjoying the videos. Let me know what you want to see in future videos and share your thoughts on this one. If you like this video, then this next video is definitely for you. Make sure to watch it.